All right, viewers, the U.S.-Venezuela showdown is escalating fast. In fact, it's said that drug boats are being blown up and you have bounties that are soaring. Oil exports have literally cut in half. And Venezuela warns of a republic in arms. While Washington, in fact, is doubling down on military patrols. And as it continues to do the patrolling around the entire region, there are also naval drills in the Caribbean that it is now doubling down on. What's really fueling this crisis? Is it drugs? Is it oil? Is it something much bigger than that? Let's break that down for you, because this is now turning out to be the biggest fault line that's happening and cutting across the entire region. Let's put out some of those details here for you as to what really is driving that escalation. First and foremost, well, there are oil exports that have actually reduced under the new license that has come out. Secondly, you have Maduro, which is the Venezuelan president, actually warns of a republic in arms. He's trying to galvanize more public sentiment in terms of why he thinks this could really be that particular inflection point when he can galvanize Venezuelans away from some of the crisis that is really happening at heart. Next up, Trump has ordered, well, there are multiple strikes that have actually happened on the drug boats, and that's really the bone of the contention, viewers. Why is it that we're talking about the US-Venezuela fault line? It started with Donald Trump first striking a boat and then going ahead and striking another one, all of which is not legal as far as the international law is concerned, not known to follow protocol. You have Donald Trump going ahead and doing that, which is why you have the entire area flaring up into a much bigger crisis. Next up, Colombia has in fact sought criminal probe into Trump and why this actually has snowballed into a bigger issue, because let's not forget that it's actually Colombia which is the largest drug pipeline in terms of US and not Venezuela. I'm going to come to that in just a bit and tell you why this could be much more than just about drugs. But first and foremost, tell you what exactly is it that's really leading to the escalation. Next up, Venezuela has proposed talks. US has rejected that offer because remember, Maduro's government has not been legitimized or legally accepted by the US, and Donald Trump feels and his administration feels that they have an upper hand and there is no reason for them to settle for talks, try and extract the best possible deal they can in terms of how escalatory matrix is moving on from here on. Next up, US has actually doubled the bounty on Maduro to $50 million. It's actually for anybody who's giving information for Maduro that US has increased the bounty. It's now at $50 million. Already a lot of his assets have been seized, upwards of $500-600 million of the kind of assets of Maduro that have been seized by America because it's trying to further put pressure on Venezuela. Next, and most importantly, it's not like there's not been a response from Venezuela. They've responded to it because remember, these boats actually led to America going till the edge of its naval borders to patrol, and that is where things actually escalated, where F-16s and Sukhoi 30 jets were showcased by Venezuela. And lastly, the Caribbean naval drills that have come to light amidst these rising tensions have been the big bone of contention. Now let's get you more details as far as what really is happening. As I said, why really did this become a major flashpoint? Why is it that drug crackdown is suddenly now at the cornerstone of Donald Trump's administration and the machinery focused solely on Venezuela? This report has all the details for you.
3 vessels destroyed, at least 17 dead in 2 weeks. US forces say these were cartel-linked drug boats leaving Venezuela. Maduro is demanding evidence. Washington has produced none so far, and critics say it looks more like a message.
To every terrorist thug smuggling poisonous drugs into the United States of America, please be warned that we will blow you out of existence. That's what we're doing. We have no choice. Can't let it happen. They're destroying.
Trump defends the strikes. His administration has labeled Venezuelan gangs foreign terror groups. The Pentagon is acting on a secret directive allowing force against cartels. Legal? Questionable. Effective? Debatable.
Dicen que los misiles en el Caribe eran para detener las drogas. Mentira, dicha aquí, en este mismo sitio. En el año 2023 y 2024 fueron los años donde más cocaína se incautó y más de 700 capos del narcotráfico fueron extraditados a Estados Unidos y Europa.
Colombia's President Petro says it's overreach. He's called for criminal charges against Trump at the UN, saying the victims were not traffickers but impoverished civilians. Bombing poverty, he called it. At the same time, Chevron's oil exports from Venezuela have been cut in half under new US rules. Venezuela is still producing, but less is reaching American shores. The profits have been locked out of Maduro's reach.
No es una tensión, es una agresión en toda la línea. Es una agresión judicial cuando nos criminalizan. Es una agresión política con sus declaraciones amenazantes diarias. Es una agresión diplomática y es una agresión en camino de carácter militar. Y Venezuela está facultada por las leyes internacionales para hacerle frente.
Maduro says the US is choking Venezuela economically and escalating militarily. His letter to the White House was ignored. Now, he's preparing new constitutional powers to defend national sovereignty. Venezuela is showing its fleet. US warships are already patrolling the Caribbean. So is this a new war on drugs or the latest energy conflict dressed in counter-narcotics? Either way, the US has re-engaged and Venezuela just became a front again. Bureau Report, NDTV World.
Well, viewers, the entire military standoff is on the premise that this build-up is intended to stop drug smuggling by cartels. But most cocaine in Latin America is actually produced in Colombia, Peru and Bolivia, and not so much in Venezuela. In fact, as per US data, almost 3/4 of cocaine shipments to the US come through the Pacific, which Venezuela does not border. And just a quarter actually come through the Caribbean, where Venezuela is. Add to it the fact that blowing up boats is completely against international law, which makes one ask, is this about drug trafficking or is this actually about regime change? The US has not recognized the last two Maduro governments and has a 50 million bounty for anyone with providing any information leading to Maduro's arrest. This clearly is far from over. If anything, both sides have all the incentive to escalate the military tension further up. For Maduro, this gives him an opportunity to galvanize Venezuelans struggling with meeting their day-to-day ends. For Donald Trump and his administration, this gives them the perfect opportunity and the window to try and have major sway as far as Venezuela is concerned. The story is far from over. The fault line is deep. We're going to get you all the details as and when action begins.